Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Dan.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Today we are going to talk about games we played, news, crowdfunding, and we've got an interview.
And you did that correctly.
Isn't
Good
that
job.
weird?
Yeah.
Let's just cut and start over, right?
Yeah.
So
let's go with it.
today
Okay. Yeah.
we have Dennis Furia and Lauren Brown.
Yes.
The creator and illustrator artist
Extraordinaire.
of Deck of Wonders, a game we've covered quite a bit on the channel, and we're going to be talking to them today with a special Your Eyes Only art reveal.
Yeah. Dennis was nice enough to reach out to us and say, hey, do we want to do an exclusive art reveal with them?
And we said, oh, yes.
I was already in. What are we doing? You
Yeah.
wanted to come on the show? Yes, please. No, they're two great people. They have put together a fantastic game that you could late pledge now. We'll have links to all of that.
Yep.
Right?
There will be links in the description for all the stuff we talk about throughout the show about the Deck of Wonders.
And we will mention those links in the description about 20 times during the interview.
Yes,
So
we
it's
will.
cool. You
Yeah.
will be reminded.
Right. But first thing, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and do all the fun YouTube algorithm things.
Yeah. Because, we're over 500 subs now, but we'd like to keep going.
Yeah,
right?
if we get to 6, maybe we'll do something else. We'll see. Yeah, get those numbers up.
Did you hear
But
that?
first,
All the
I
dogs
did,
were there.
yeah.
So, guys, games we played. We had a very productive day where we
Yeah.
all got together and
Played
played a
some
bunch of games. So let's just tackle those first. Right?
yeah,
Those
but
are
I would say we should all take days off work more often and do this.
Yes.
it was like a little mini con, right?
Yeah.
And it worked out pretty good. So we started the day. We'll just go right in order, right?
Yeah,
So we started
sure.
the day because Bob cannot get up early in the
No,
morning.
it doesn't happen.
We started the day. We played a 3-player game of Ankh, which we have a review of.
Man, imagine starting your day with Ankh, by the way.
Yeah.
At 8 in the morning.
I'm going to start every day with Ankh.
Not at 8 in the
just-
morning.
Let me just put this out right before we say anything else about this game. Spencer cannot deal with the fact that he lost.
Still thinking about
The
it.
fact is,
He's never going to let this go.
he
Well,
lost.
you haven't let it go.
Bob wasn't even there, and he knows. But he lost.
Yeah, I know.
But anyways, we played a
Crazy.
3-player game of Ankh. Came down to the wire. Dan and I merged because that's a mechanic in that game. You'll see later. But I don't know about you guys. Well, I do know about you guys. We had a fantastic time playing
Yes, we
this
did.
game. And it was so good.
We're not going to be able to do too many snaps today because we have 2 in the interview later, but I'll say 1, Ankh definitely deserves a snap.
Absolutely.
Right there. Go check out our review of Ankh, which will be up maybe not immediately, but soon.
Soon.
Then after Ankh, Spencer took off for a minute, and then we
Yep.
played. I finally played
Finally.
Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Yes.
And
Well, let me say, I didn't play it, but I got back in time to watch the entire game.
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was actually kind of impressive with how fast it played, too, I think,
and
right?
I think I could play the game just by watching them
Right.
play the game. It's that
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, we will do a review of Lost
Proper,
Ruins
yeah.
Arnak real soon. And
now that Tim's finally played.
Now
Yeah.
that Tim's
I
played it.
finally
Yeah.
played. Spoiler alert, I might like it more than Dune Imperium.
Hey, listen, that's totally fine. Again, that's why they are clearly different
They're
enough.
very
Yes.
different. You can. There's room for both.
Definitely.
Right?
I could see myself owning both. I just Dune Imperium completes it for me, so I just haven't wanted to spend the money on another game, right?
Sure,
But yes, I enjoy both. I do like Dune Imperium a little bit more. Some people do. Some people like Arnak more, but they are very close.
They're
Yeah.
close, but they're different enough. Again, there's fantastic production with the game.
Yeah, the components are great.
The I don't know about you guys, but the ease of teaching seemed like the learning
Yeah.
curve was pretty quick.
Yep.
I asked a few questions here and there, but it wasn't anything like, oh wait, I don't understand how this works at all. Like everything, once you kind of get a few things, you kind of get it all.
Yep.
Uh,
The iconography is really solid. The player aids are very helpful.
There's just some tracks to keep track of,
Yeah.
which
If you've ever
can make
played
it a
any
little
games like that
overbearing.
in the past, you've got a leg up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. You got this thing over here you're working on advancing, and then you're like, but I'm trying to do some stuff over here.
Yeah,
and you
you-
kind of have to balance.
You want to be a
it
little
out
Indiana
bit.
Jonesy and explore some temples.
I've been saying forever, man, deck building, worker placement would be great games, and then they all started coming out.
Yeah,
and they're
great
great
games.
games.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see this
really-
trend.
Yep.
It was a really positive experience. We played 3 players with a new player
Yep.
in under an hour.
Yep. About less than
And,
an hour.
and for me, like that's the sweet spot, man.
Yep.
I could play a game that's really satisfying, kind of an engine buildy, silly, deck building stuff in under an hour and it's all, great components. It's got awesome table presence and all that stuff. It's like, wow, it checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
So big fan. It was a really good
Good.
experience.
And I'm glad you like it because I've been pushing it at you for a long
Yeah,
time.
you have, and it's just been time.
Yeah.
But to actually finally get to play it, and it's like, oh yeah, no, you guys are right.
Yeah.
Like this game's really good.
Cool.
Dan was wrong, but you guys were right.
Well, that's typical.
I mean, even though Dan
It's a good
agrees with
game.
me.
He's still wrong.
No,
Why do you
you're
agree with me? Idiot.
Just wrong. Oh, you're worst. Gross. Then we all got to play Sleeping Gods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is the Ryan Lockett Red Raven games, like their most recent sort of storytelling game.
Yep.
And we need to play more of it, but I
Correct.
really enjoyed what we played.
Yeah.
And the dipping our toe into that story and that world.
And I believe we have a review of that one too.
We do, but we're running low on snaps.
I don't know what all we're going to be covering. So
We'll put it in the description below.
definitely below. Check out the channel for that review. It'll be out there.
That's right. And then the last game we played in our marathon day was Descent 3rd Edition.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Man, as a big fan of Descent 2nd Edition, and
I've never played any of the Descent games.
okay.
Me neither,
yeah.
but I played Imperial Assault, which
So you
is
played
the
Descent
same.
Star Wars Edition.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it really is.
Which is
It
fun,
really
and
is.
it's great. I love it.
Oh,
So.
I want to play again.
And I own both, and don't feel like because I have one, I don't need the other. Like I really
Right.
like the aspects of both of them. But 3rd Edition, I will save some of my thoughts for the review, and plus we got to finish something up.
Yeah.
But man, I really did enjoy what we did play.
Yep.
And the way that the terrain lays out, and then the you start off and the board is like, oh, that's it. All right, well, we'll just bust through this, and then you get to a new thing. And
Oh, here's this.
More
Oh,
stuff
add this
comes
on.
up.
Oh, put this over here. Like,
And
oh my
there's
gosh.
Doors that are unlocking, but I mean the doors have archways, and so when you unlock the door, you just pull the door out, and now there's an archway that leads into the next room. I mean,
Yeah.
it really conveys
Like steps and the elevated platforms and just
there
all
wasn't
types
much
of stuff.
downtime either. It was just constantly
No,
stuff
it's
to
really-
Yeah,
do.
and it's to say if you've played like an earlier Descent or like the Imperial Assault, then you'll pick up on this so quick and so
It's,
easy.
like the iconography is new, but it's the same kind of thing, right? There's
Right.
still the
Cons-
fatigue instead of the what's it called in Imperial Assault? It's not called fatigue.
I thought it was called fatigue.
no, it's something else.
Exhaustion.
It might- yeah.
Right.
But like
Strain.
strain.
It is
But like
You're correct.
it's different iconography, but it's
It's the same
so
thing.
similar.
Yeah.
But the upgrading of your equipment, and
That-
weapons
yeah,
and stuff,
upgrading the weapons equipment is
potential-
super cool.
potential for that.
Yeah,
There's
'cause, like,
characters we can unlock.
The app is a lot more
Crafting.
developed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's mainly because the app, but this playthrough of Descent so far, I did enjoy more than Imperial Assault.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
And I played a lot of Imperial Assault, and I've only played this once, and the experience this gave me was just a little bit, I don't know if it was because it was streamlined or just a little bit cleaner, but I enjoyed it a bit more, which is
Okay.
funny because I would usually choose Star Wars over fantasy any day of the week.
Same.
Which, well, people will say, Star Wars is fantasy, whatever.
No,
you know
it's
what
not.
I mean?
It all happened.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Historical fiction.
Watch the movie, idiot. It says at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Descent 3rd Edition we played.
Yep.
And it was. I really.
It's technically called Desert Legends of the Dark. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
called Descent 3rd Edition.
Whatever.
But it is.
Just-
But it is.
But it is.
Yeah.
Before Dan turned into like a total turd, I was about to say I was really grateful that we were all able to take the time to get together and
Yeah.
like have an awesome day of games together. It was a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys committing to that and doing that with me because that was a good time.
Oh,
Yeah.
we appreciate you too, Tim.
Well,
Yeah.
what's next?
Well, I'll go on.
Sure.
I only really played one more game this week, but it's because I was teaching my daughter how to play Gloomhaven. So,
Oh, nice.
after school, so it took like all week, but we made it through the first scenario.
Actual
and we're-
Gloomhaven or
Actual Gloomhaven.
not Jaws of the Lion?
No, not Jaws of the Lion. Not Jaws of the
Wow.
Lion. Actual
Spencer doesn't
Gloomhaven.
drink diet soda.
I'm teaching my daughter how to play actual Gloomhaven, and now she's like hooked, and she wants to go on to the next scenario.
Nice.
So if I could just get her away from Minecraft long enough to do it, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
That's,
You realize
tough to
by
do
the time
for,
you
what,
finish
10-year-old?
the campaign with her,
She'll
she's
be
going to be in her
18, I
30s.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's not going to happen if I don't try.
Yeah, sure.
That is true. Dan, you got other games you played this week?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was only the day with you guys.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Bobby.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I played a couple. So I also played Gloomhaven. It wasn't with Spencer. It was with a different group. But we did dive into that. And man, I tell you what, one guy couldn't show up, so we ended up playing without him. And the other 3 of us that remained all have like invisibility abilities, and the game that went so fast because we're all like, I'm invisible. You're all invisible. Okay, so the monsters are done. Next, because there's nothing for them to go after, and it's the way to go. Okay, that is the way to go.
Cheesy.
Yep. And then I introduced some people to quests and cannons.
Nice.
Yep, we had that for a little bit longer, so I wanted to get it to the table one more time.
Gets a snap.
We gotta check that out.
Cannons preview right there.
Yeah, it's super cool.
It's coming to Kickstarter very soon.
I loved, and what they were mentioning too is how you go to all these islands and you're collecting your resources, and you're constantly getting all these quest cards, and you end up having to discard back down to 3. But it just keeps feeding you as stuff to do, So it doesn't like you don't ever have any. Yeah, you have a lot of choices. Like you never have downtime. Like, well, I'm not sure what I should do. You've got a handful of quest cards. Pick one. It's like, and it just kind of keeps you going.
Like the 2 main things are pick up and deliver and combat. But it's a sandbox game where the way you tackle those 2 things, and again, the amount of choices they throw at you, like he's saying, they literally are like, okay, well, here's 10 quests. You got to discard down to 3, but there's 10 quests.
Right. Pick your favorite 3.
And it's just like, oh, boy. Oh, hold on, I'm still discarding. Why are you handing me more?
Man, in one turn, I fully upgraded all of my my cargo capacity, and I was like I had 2 big quests, and I was like, there's 16 points, or one time, because there were 8 points. Because
I was about to say, it definitely wasn't 16.
Yeah, no, because it was 4 each, right? So it was 8, and that was half what I needed to win right there in one swoop. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
And if you follow them on Facebook, just Quests and Cannons, the Risen Islands, you're going to get a lot of good information about the game. There's a ton of videos, not just ours. And actually, he's in one of the posts, somebody was asking some questions about it, and the designer came on, and it looks like it's going to be like $60 for the regular edition and like $80 for the deluxe.
That's not bad at all.
Which is super affordable, considering everything.
How deluxe they are.
Yeah, and I don't even know. I've got to go back and look, but I think that the base game comes with like what we've got, like with the prototype, what we saw.
So what's the deluxe?
Then the deluxe will have like metal coin, what I mean, like other things, like
other bits.
Deluxe stuff.
Yeah, some deluxe stuff. Yeah,
he didn't go into like all the details because he's saving some stuff, but I mean like.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
I found $60 very reasonable for the game that's in that box.
Yes,
right. Like that prototype version of that game.
Yeah.
And then so to go up to $80 for a deluxe version, that's even better, right? You know what I mean? Like a $20.
It's not a huge bump.
It's not a huge bump, and it these guys
unlike
are
the board game
super
rundown.
cool. That's right. That bump. It's worth
huge. But well, I'm really glad you got to the table a couple more times.
Yeah, me too. And then after that, we had a little bit of time left, and I got to teach my friend Levi Venice because I knew he would really enjoy it. Man, I get the good teacher award because that dude ran away with it. Like I thought I knew what I was doing. Nope. So yeah, he smoked us pretty good. I think he had like 110, and I had the next highest score at like 70 something.
Oh wow!
Yeah, stomped. But it was good though. It played really well. We all enjoyed it, and it's got great little meeples. You got a little gondolier meeple. Yeah, that's super cute. But yeah, it's a really fun game too. Brain crack games.
Yeah. Yeah, right on. Is that everything?
And some magic.
Well, Tim and I had a great night of Dead by Daylight.
We had an amazing
but we
night.
won't go too in depth.
Amazing night.
They're trying to pull me in.
Definitely been playing still some Magic the Gathering Arena. It's been pretty good. It's pretty fun. But I did get to play, so I got to play Lords of Vegas.
Nice.
Did pretty well.
Yeah.
Didn't come in last. So
that's
good, right?
Yeah, better than that.
Always a success whenever I get to play that. I always have a good time because I'm not Dan and actually enjoy good games.
Right. Well, sometimes at night I take a coin out, flip it, and say heads I win, tails I lose. And I'm like, oh, I just played Lords of Vegas. That's crazy.
You should have rolled a die.
Also, I got to play Quacks of Quedlinburg with the Alchemists expansion.
Oh, you tried it out?
Oh, cool. How'd that go?
Really good.
Yeah?
Really well. It does add sort of a new level, right?
Okay.
Have you played it with the
I
expansion
haven't.
yet?
No, I haven't had a chance.
So it does, I don't want to say complicate, but it's just another
level of stuff.
Another level of stuff that you're managing.
Sure.
But it ramped up scoring like crazy.
Who did you play with, though?
My in-laws and my wife.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you got one of your kids, your daughter, to play, because then I was wondering what she would think of the Alchemist. Because I wasn't sure if she's played normal Quacks.
No, she hasn't, actually.
Oh,
okay. But played with my in-laws who already like regular Quacks.
Sure.
Sometimes it is tougher to get them to want to try the expansion. Like, I don't want to learn anything new.
Right. I already enjoy it the way it is.
Yeah. But everybody had a really good time. I did absolutely terrible. I came in last. No shocker. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I thought the expansion was really neat. And I like the way they do it is you've got all these ailments that you can add. But basically you draw 3 randomly.
Okay.
And then everybody's going to pick which one they are going to try to deal with. So everybody can pick the same one or different ones.
Okay.
And so that then depending on how your pot resolves, determines how much essence you get. And that gives everybody different things like extra ingredients. Or,
Right.
you know,
And you played this once?
Yes.
So that explanation is probably about 77% accurate.
Also accurate.
The thing about Quacks is like it's one of those games that like I can just be terrible at it and it doesn't really bother me.
Nah.
It's a pressure luck game, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and I agree with that for the most part. It's just that a pressure luck game like that just will never hit like my top 10 games, right? But like, it's not that I think Quacks is a bad game. It's very fun. So yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then-
if you can't enjoy a game that you're losing, then maybe it's not the kind of game you
That's
want.
fair
Yeah.
too. That's fair too. And then I also played. I'd never played or heard of Silver and Gold.
Oh sure,
I've
yeah.
heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Like a flippin', right? So you've got these little shapes made out of blocks, right? And then
Okay.
you're drawing these cards, and they're basically like Tetris shapes, right? You know, so
Okay.
you might have like the little L,
Yep.
or you might have the 3, or like an elbow, and then you're crossing off on your card with a dry erase marker, and you're trying to fill out your whole shape. And then when you fill it out, you can get a new card.
Okay.
And then there's other things that can trigger, like if you cross off a thing with a coin, then you mark a thing over here on your coins, and if you fill up your coin row, you get a trophy. And so the
have played
trophies
this.
depreciate in value.
It almost sounds like a cartographer's without the
kind of
landscape.
is. Yeah,
because it's
kind
all
of is.
Tetris shapes.
But,
you know.
you're getting new cards, and so as you finish one, you get to draw a new one. And so
Okay.
you have 2 at any time, and then when you like cross off an X, you can cross off another one, like another square somewhere. So you can cross off an X, then cross off another X, then cross off another X, and then cross. You know,
Oh,
like
wow.
you can chain stuff together.
Sure.
The way you're moving makes it seem like it's like a timed
It's,
game.
it's huge. No, I just frantic.
Because you're just all the time like, and then you pass out a card and then you mark out the X.
But it plays really fast. I mean, I played it with Karen, and
Okay.
we played like a full game in 10 minutes with
Oh, wow.
teaching.
Yeah.
It was.
That's fast.
It's just a little small box game. It's really good. And then we also played Grandpa Beck's Golf, which is sort of a classic. I recommend any of the Grandpa Beck's games, even if I haven't played them, because I just really like that company.
Yeah.
And we'll have some reviews and stuff coming up for them soon. But yes.
yes, but yes.
Grandpa Beck's Golf, you've got 9 cards out. You flip, they're all face down. You make them in like a 3x3 grid, and then you flip 2 of them face up. And then they're like ranged. So golf, you want a low score, right? So you can go to like all the way down to -4, but they can go up to like 12.
Albatross.
And so when you draw a card, and you can either take a card face up from the discard pile, or you could take one off top of the deck. When you draw a card, you can either discard it, which means anybody now has access to it right on their turn, or you can replace one of the cards you have. You can replace a face up card or a face down card. So if you replace a face down card, you're gambling that like,
It's
this
better.
-2 might be better. And so I flip this card up, and then that card you replace goes to
discard.
the discard pile.
Okay.
And so there's a little bit of like, I hope I don't give you anything too good. But if you get 3 of a type in a row, you know, a column or row, you like let's say 3 par 3s all in a row. That whole row wipes. And that's -5 points. And so the game ends when somebody has revealed their last card, when they've got all their cards showing. And then everybody gets one more round, basically, so like everybody's had the same amount of turns.
Sure. Finish the
And-
round out.
And you play 3 rounds of that. And it plays relatively quick.
Are you sure?
Not 18.
Not 18.
Are you sure that the game doesn't end immediately when someone?
We are sure.
Okay.
We are sure.
I just don't want to
I don't
upset
want-
anybody.
And we don't want Spencer to get upset about this. But you are correct.
But yes.
But yeah, so it was a good week for games.
Yeah,
for
it was.
us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We're
Shed
going to
more of those.
news.
We're
I
going to
think so.
news.
So
On to
Spencer, I know you want to talk
news.
about this. I'll talk
Yeah.
about it with you.
Let's
I
start
Okay,
with
let's go for it.
depressing news for the
Well-
4th week in a row.
at least this is not like men behaving
Gross.
badly.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Gross
no,
This is
no.
just depressing.
News.
I
This
believe-
is just sad.
I believe the technical name is IDWP. Is that the?
I don't know where you got the P from.
Yeah, I just thought it was
That's,
IDW
that's the umbrella
Games.
company.
Oh, sure,
Oh.
sure. So IDW is closing down their games
Because it's
division.
Games
IDW
division.
Productions.
As far as I know,
you're
they're
saying.
still making comic books, right? So
Yes.
they own the IPs to like TMNT and Legend of Korra, Dragon Ball Z, Ghostbusters.
Yeah, thank goodness not shut all
Machikoro.
those down.
No, I mean, There was some stuff going on with them earlier in the year where they were losing the IPs to Super Bomberman and Metal Gear.
Yeah, we covered that recently. That was them.
Yep.
And it turns out that these lapses, I don't know, might have been indicative of like deeper problems.
Oh yeah, no, they posted up their quarterly report, and they've been in the red for a while. And
Yeah.
they went really in the red.
So they
last
couldn't
quarter.
afford to keep the IPs.
They couldn't.
That's speculation, but yes.
Yeah.
And they are honoring their, I forget what their most recent Kickstarter is, but that is going to be honored and filled and everything like that. So you're no danger there.
Yeah. That was Galaxy Hunters.
Oh, they did Galaxy Hunters too?
Yeah.
I knew there was something I played recently that was.
I was pretty sure, but I wanted to double check.
Okay.
Yep, it was
But
them.
I'm a big fan of Machikoro. They did that in tandem with Pandasaurus.
Yeah.
And I have, but haven't played TMNT Shadows of the Past, which is the big.
Oh,
I got
yeah,
the big
yeah.
box.
The pizza is that the pizza
Yeah.
box? Yeah.
Looks like a pizza box, except Descent box style
Right.
size.
I need a pizza like that.
It's
I would too.
unfortunate.
Is that deep dish?
I mean, this is
Real deep
The
dish.
deep-
the real
dish.
world, the industry. This kind of thing happens.
Yep.
So I just hope that these IPs and these designers that work there can land on their feet with another company because
Yeah.
they do make. I mean,
Good stuff.
they've put out
Yeah,
some
you
fun
mentioned
games.
they got Legend of Korra.
Yeah,
I really hope that one gets picked up by someone else
sure,
too.
sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's my news.
Isn't that from like a kid show or something?
that's
I'm
most
kidding.
Oh, wow, I was like, really? I was like, I mean, even I know what that is.
I just wanted to upset 90% of people.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well done.
What do you want to say anything bad about Dragon Ball Z while you're at it?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no. Dragon Ball Z is perfect. I would never say anything.
You just know what the death threats that go along with that.
Yeah.
I actually do have
all right,
another
so-
piece of news. Or do
Okay.
you want to go first?
Oh, sure, yeah, I'll go. So Mindclash Games announced their Kickstarter date for one of their new games coming out. Yeah. Voidfall is the name of it.
Oh,
It is a solo co-op competitive Euro space 4X game.
Did they miss?
Yeah, you
something
missed
in
a couple
there?
adjectives. Keep going. Preposition.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, it looks super interesting. The date for Kickstarter launch is going to be September 28th.
And come on, tell us some of the other fantastic games that Mindclash has made.
Just a couple of them, like Venice, the one I just mentioned. They did that one. Yeah, and then it's
is that Anachrony? Who's
no
Anachrony?
Anachrony is It is
I thought it was
Anachrony. It is
Okay,
Anachrony.
carry on and-
I'm mixing that up because Venice was David, right?
Yeah,
Turksy, but that was from Brain Crack Games for
Okay.
Venice.
Oh,
So yes,
Mindclash
Anachrony.
is Anachrony.
Anachrony, yes, and some other good
Carry-On.
ones too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Carry-On's really good.
Carry-On.
I haven't played Cerebra yet, but
Yeah.
I have that.
Yes, Mindclash has a bunch of really good,
I wanna play Anachrony.
crunchy.
I was
games.
about to say they're crunchy.
They are
Ooh,
very
yeah.
crunchy.
The crunch is
Yeah.
strong.
They're
crunch is strong
like
with them.
cereal with no milk.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking like Captain Crunch, rip up the roof of your
yes.
mouth.
Captain Crunch is amazing, and it does not learn how to eat. It has never
Listen,
cut the roof of my mouth.
Here, oops, all crunch berries. It will destroy your mouth if you try to eat
Do you know they're
them.
not real berries?
What?
And apparently, Captain Crunch, not a real captain.
He's an admiral. But also, yeah, the Captain Crunch, the oops all artificial berries was much less catchy.
Yeah. That was my bit of news there.
Okay. Anyone out there fancy themselves to be a game designer a little bit?
Nope. Oh, wait, yeah.
No, but like maybe eventually.
Maybe someday.
Ravensburger Game Inventor Days.
Oh yeah,
So it's
Ravensburger wouldn't like our game. Wouldn't like our game.
probably not. But if you fancy yourself a game inventor, right now, up until September 6th, they are accepting applications for you to basically pitch them your game. And if they like your idea, then from September 10th to 11th, they have the actual event, the Ravensburger Game Inventor
Legends
Days
of
online.
Shmora. It's IP adjacent.
And you'll get an additional half hour to pitch with them.
Nice.
So that's actually, I've been to some writing conventions, and that is a huge leg up. That is amazing. So if you fancy yourself a game designer, go do that.
Yeah.
I
Now,
would.
One warning, you might need to have a prototype by September 10th.
That's soon.
So let me
Get on that.
redo this. Hey, anyone out there, game inventor, have a prototype?
Also, I would say when you're doing something like that, I would really suggest looking at Ravensburger's
Absolutely.
backlog.
Catalog.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See what kind of games they
and the
typically
kind
do.
of games they publish, because, like I said, I wasn't kidding when I said I would never even pretend to show them the game that Tim and I were working on. It's not in their wheelhouse.
Right.
So make sure that you're not wasting your time.
No, that's true. No matter what industry you're going to, if you're going to one of these kinds of things, you have got to make certain that you are in the right audience.
Like Jamie Stegmeyer from Stonemaier Games takes pitches from people all the time and stuff, but he says, he's very public about the things he wants to see in a game, and just don't waste your time if you're not hitting those things, right? He's not trying to offend you. He just doesn't want to waste your time, and I'm sure they're the exact same way.
Yep.
That's good.
Anything else?
Any other news?
Nah.
Nope.
Nah. All right.
Light news day.
Let's get into Kickstarters then.
Kickstarter.
Crowdfunding.
Oh, yeah.
So close.
Crowdfunding.
I got one.
got
I've
one.
talked about it a little bit, but now I have all the details for it. So
Yep. Some
Black
deets.
Rose Wars Rebirth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it is a sequel
Yes.
to the game Black Rose Wars. No, you cannot get the original game
Wah, wah.
with
Aw.
the thing, because it sounds like
That's depressing.
I don't get the logic, I guess. But so this game takes place years after Black Rose Wars. Basically, the Black Cottage or whatever is been destroyed, and only a few mages even remember it. So now, instead of destroying the rooms with your entropic spells, you are recreating the lodge as you're casting magic. So your magic is like imbuing the structure back. Think of like Hellraiser. You drip a little blood, and now they're forming a new body, right?
Right.
So now you're doing this with magic, though.
Right.
So
Perfect explanation.
You get it though,
I do.
right?
I do.
You completely understand what I'm saying.
Didn't you just recently watch Hellraiser?
Yeah, that's why I
I
did.
I
This
wonder
is
why
not
he
a
made this analogy.
Yeah.
But anyways, the miniatures look fantastic. There's a deck building aspect to Black Rose Wars that I really enjoy. I need to play it more so we can actually do a review of the original one. I don't know that there's enough here for me to just go, because I don't know. It's an interesting tactic. It's not really a critique on them or anything like that. It's just
Is it cheaper now than the first?
The box looks big, so I wouldn't imagine
it's about
too much cheaper.
$153 for the base pledge. Well, which is every base pledge and
Man.
stretch goals. So, but
So
I mean,
Jason's in.
you're right. Jason from Board Game Mechanics is
He's
already
in.
back.
He's in.
You track all this stuff with cubes. There's
You do.
tracks that
There
go
are
around
tracks.
the
Cubes,
rooms, and
tons
you
of
track
tracks.
you track the health with cubes. Just saying.
Cubes and tracks.
Yep.
And you're like nobles.
Yeah, you're noble wizards for
Yep.
shizzle.
Yeah.
For shizzle
Wow.
with the sizzle. But but yeah, anyways, it's a big box, beautiful miniatures. The game, I really enjoy the gameplay of Black Rose Wars. Again, need to play it more so I can experience other sides of it,
Right.
trying out different schools of magic.
and
and
more
things
than
like
a
that.
two-player game.
Yeah, and really, I believe it'll play completely different at like 3 to 4 players. So we'll see what happens. But that's Black Rose Wars Rebirth. There's, I don't know, a week left when this comes out.
Okay.
I'm going to throw in our editor, Jeff, wanted us to mention a game coming soon. By the time this episode is up, it will be up, called Kenji's Quest by Myths and Miniatures. This game seems to want to take Dungeons & Dragons, tabletop RPGs, and turn them into a board game kind of thing. So it honestly reminded me of Dragon Quest. Is that
Oh, yeah.
Is that what
Dragon
we
Strike?
played recently? Dragon Strike.
Dragon Strike,
It
yeah.
reminded me, so Kenji's Quest, right? But it reminded me of like that Dragon Strike idea, right? You create your character and you have your thing and you put your gear on the slots on the thing, and then you're playing like a structured RPG experience.
Like dungeon crawler type of-
Exactly, which is
yeah.
what it seems to be going for here. So I don't have much about it because it's not actually live yet. All we can have is like I can link in the description to the website or the Kickstarter because it will be up once this video's out, and you can get more information if you want. But it just looks like another one of those types of games. Which we tend to enjoy. I was actually kind of surprised at how much I really liked Dragon Strike. I thought it held up
sure.
after all this time. It's simple, but sometimes you want simple.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
you're like, let's play D&D, but not meet every Sunday for the next 2 years. You know, let's just play
Right.
this game once and get that out. But yeah, fantastic looking miniatures.
It'll be live by when this show drops.
Yep, pre-painted
So-
pledges. I like the art
like
style.
pre-painted.
The art style kind of reminds me of there's another game that I played that has that kind of art style. You'll see though. It looks like there's a branching storyline that has multiple endings
That's cool.
and everything. So yeah, looks pretty cool. We'll have to see more once it comes to Kickstarter, but this is just an announcement that it will be on there soon for Kenji's Quest. If that lore or game style interests you, check that out.
Oh, I guess it's me then.
I don't know. I just looked at you.
Yeah, you look.
That's
Enough of a trigger for me.
Little Maui's having trouble with his look.
Oh, boy,
Wow,
here we go.
James.
Little Spencer's having trouble with his book.
I got one. Anunnaki Warrior Gods. This dropped like today.
Okay.
So, a few days ago when you watch this, it's from Zest Board Games, and it goes until September 26th. It's 2 to 8 players. It's kind of like space sci-fi meets Mesopotamian mythology.
Classic.
Yeah, that one's not one I've met before.
I mean, just like all those other games.
Yeah.
So you've read my books.
Aliens.
Hey.
Yeah, it's area control, deck building. There's combat can be either through decks or by dice. And it's a pick up and deliver. You're getting these gold cores, they say, and those gold cores you collect are both your attack and your defense. And you're trying to get enough areas to control, and then you can turn your little ship on its side, and that indicates that you're now in control of these areas. And it looks interesting. I really like the art. It's quite nice. I like that it's going into Mesopotamian mythology. It's not one you normally see, Enki and Udu and things like that. It's $60 if you want the game. They're going to throw in a PDF of all the lore behind it. I think this one's cool. At $250, they'll have the artist turn you into one of the gods.
Nice.
But at
what Dan loves.
$400, not only will the artist turn you into the gods, they'll make a whole deck of cards for you so you can play as yourself too.
Dan's ego has never been so close to being satisfied.
That's very interesting. If I was a rich man who didn't know
rich
how to
man, yeah.
control his own money, I would 100% be on that.
So it's set for an April delivery, and check it out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right on. Is
Sweet.
that everybody? You got one?
I got one.
No Bobo.
Yeah. So there's an interesting one that I saw on there. It's called Empire Plateau. It's a tactical strategy board game. So there's no dice, there's no cards, there's no luck at all, and so they kind of compare it to like a chess, but you could play 2 to 4 people, and you've got all these different pillars and they're different heights, and you have to move them around according to how they can move around the latitude and longitude of this map, and you're trying to basically take the other person's king or their home territory, and it looks super interesting. It's almost like a chess knockoff.
Is that the one where it
kind
looks
of
like
thing.
pieces are getting added as you play too?
No, it's like a
different
big
one.
globe looking thing, and then it's got the longitude and latitude lines, and then it has all these different.
I talked about this
columns.
last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I should watch
The one
the
with
show.
the longitude.
I don't remember that.
But hey, that means 2 people are now interested.
I know, right? So hey, let's get that bump from the board game rundown.
Awkward.
No one ever remembers what I talk about.
We don't. We really just. He starts talking, and
you
you know what?
You thought we zoned out when Spencer talked.
It actually
even
was.
remember.
It's because I was gonna talk about it, and then he talked about it, and then
I know you were talking
and then we were
about
both
it. So it's your
talking.
turn next week.
Yeah.
Hey
You
guys, I got
it'll
this
still be
game I
going.
don't think anybody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Much less ever spoken
When you
about
described it, it
cover.
didn't sound anything like what I just said.
Yeah, because he was talking about the chess-like game, and then I said, "Is that the one with longitude, latitude lines?"
yeah.
And then we were talking about that.
Gotcha.
Unless this is another one that meets
No,
every
but
one of
this
those
is
criterion.
this is the one with longitude and latitude.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
right,
It is.
but
Oh,
it's got no
It's
luck.
like chess?
It's all it's like chess, and there's no cards or dice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's different from the one you guys were saying.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, that's all our crowd. So before we go to the interview, I will just do a little bit of housekeeping now.
Yep.
We'll do sort of our end of the show stuff now so that you can just watch the interview and enjoy it. But be sure to check out our friends at the Miniatures Rundown. CJ and Jeff do a show over there. And Josh, they got a new face.
Who's this person?
A new face. Well, now you got to go look just to see who this Josh guy is, and then comment and be like, "Josh is way cooler. Where's he been this whole time?"
Right.
Yeah.
Or be like, I can't accept change.
Are you a Dalek?
Right.
Exterminate.
Exactly. Also, please check out our friends at the Board Game Mechanics.
They're pretty okay.
I'm just pointing.
Yeah. No, they're pretty okay.
Yeah.
Jason cranks out videos all the time.
Yep.
Katie does not so boring unboxings, right? Yeah.
I'm
Is
not
that a trigger for you?
arguing.
Is that a trigger for you?
Someone argued that in the past, but I'm
Okay,
not
just
currently
checking.
arguing.
They also have a weekly podcast, which drops like Thursday night, Friday. Really good, awesome community, and they're pretty okay.
Yep.
But all the people that listen to the show are way cooler. Like,
And thank you for all your support, guys. Thank you for liking if you liked. That's a tiny click for you, but a
Huge click for
gigantic
us.
help for us. Yeah, one small click for you, one Giant click for
Yes, and so we also do an audio version of this, audio only, and it's only of our weekly news shows, and you can find that on Anchor. You can find that even on the Apple Podcast app.
The link to our Anchor is always in the description.
Yes. So yeah, give it a listen. Listen at ×2 speed, so then we sound like chipmunks.
Exactly. And if you ever are at work and you listen to podcasts and you don't have good reception there, that's the way to do it. Because that's what I do. I can't watch YouTube videos while I'm at work, putting truck away and stuff. But I can have Anchor playing because that takes way less bandwidth.
Yeah.
So.
And I listen to podcasts all day at work. So so I even listen to our podcast. I don't watch every episode all completely through, but I listen to every episode all the way through now because it's the lazy thing I can
You just
multitask.
listen to us.
Stuff I do.
Well, actually, more he likes not seeing you.
Yeah. Spencer never watching the show.
Yeah, so you watch.
Yeah, and I've missed the past couple
I'm
episodes.
I'm going to start
myself.
watching the mechanics. The other one.
Miniatures.
Because just so that I can say that we don't watch this one, but I watched that one.
Yeah, that's even worse. How insulting.
Okay, so we have an interview with Dennis and Lauren, talked about at the beginning, with an art reveal for Deck of Wonders. We've covered Deck of Wonders a bunch in the past, so hopefully you guys are interested, and that's probably what you came for anyway. You just clicked on the link in the description that brought you straight to this part of the video. Wow, that's crazy. So let's go to the interview, huh?
Yeah. Thanks again, guys. Hey, guys, with us today we have Dennis Furia and Lauren Brown, the creator and illustrator of Deck of Wonders. It is a Kickstarter that funded last summer that hopefully will be coming out 6 months or so, depending on shipping, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's all funded. It's all in various stages of production and everything. And we've told you before, we'll say it again. Dan and I, day one, were super excited about Deck of Wonders. I mean, the style of game, which I will have you describe in a moment, and the artwork. I mean, the artwork is just a grabber with the vibrant colors and just the really awesome characters.
Right. The way that the artwork plays into the theme, I think, is one of the things that really grabs you, right? The fact that it's the two-sided cards and the two different worlds that the art has to portray, right? You have to be able to tell the difference, but also they're not two completely different things. It's almost like a different dimension version of what you're looking at, right? You know what I'm trying to explain, but I am known pretty well for hating solitaire games. I play.
I'll go.
Right. I play games for the social experience
Because otherwise people won't hang out with him.
Right. It's the only way that I can get people. But and so when Tim and Dennis invited me to play on Tabletop Simulator in this, I was like, oh, cool. We'll see how this is like. I mean, it was kind of like playing a 3-player game anyway because we were all playing at the same time. So I was like, cool, I'll check this out. And I loved it. I loved the cleverness of the one deck mechanic and building the deck and, I'll put a bunch of healing cards in my deck. Then he'll never kill me. Yeah, well, you might never kill him either. That's the problem. And but yeah, I guess we should throw it to Dennis now so he can explain what the game actually is for people, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine a better setup than that. This is a solo game, but it almost plays like a card battle or a tactical card game that you might already be familiar with. So think your Hearthstones or your Magic the Gathering games. I love those games. I love deep strategic games in general. But I often don't have the time or the community to play them. I mean, certainly with COVID this past year, oh my God. But even in general, I'm a parent of 3 kids. I don't have any time. Right. So dedicate 6 hours to
I've got 2
Magic
kids.
tournament.
I feel it.
Yes. And so with Deck of Wonders, what I wanted to create was a game that had that feel, had that deep strategic element, but was also a solitaire game that you could play in the space of 15 minutes and still feel like you were getting a really cool, deep strategic experience. It's a legacy game on top of that. So as you play, you get to crack packs. That's one of everyone's favorite parts of those games. But instead of needing to buy random boosters, everything comes in the box with Deck of Wonders, but you only open the first 2 packs when you start the game. And then as you play, as you meet in certain conditions, achieve certain goals, you'll open up a new pack of cards and add those into the game, which of course will all have very interesting mechanical changes and change your understanding of how to win, etc. And the game tells this epic story of you having stolen the Deck of Wonders from Fate herself. And so you're playing this game, you're trying to outwit Fate, And as you guys mentioned, it is a single deck. So usually with deck building games and specifically card battlers, each side brings their own deck. With Deck of Wonders, every card is both a player side and a villain side, a tame side and a wild side, as it were. And depending on when fate decides that card shows up, when it's drawn, that card might be very different if it's drawn for you versus for the villain. So that design informed kind of the art that we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
And every card has this, I refer to it as like a twisted mirror of the same creature or the same spell. One as it comes out favorable to you, and one as it comes out unfavorable to you. And yeah, that's the high level of Deck of Wonders. Like you mentioned, we are kind of in the middle of production of the game, and so the big question mark is how long it takes to get across the sea. But it's a very portable game. It's designed to be a deck of cards that you can carry with you. So it's a little bit easier to ship than your gigantic box games.
Sure.
And hopefully this will be available and in people's homes, in people's hands in February or so. And certainly you can still late pledge for the game, even though the Kickstarter is done and fully funded. There are late pledges that you can do through GameFound, and then that'll get you in on the game as soon as it can ship out.
We'll have a link to the late pledge in the description, and also if you want to check it out, I'm going to link right there in the top of the video. We did a kind of how to play way back when using the prototype version of the game that you can check out. Obviously not fully with all the art that we will be showing off today, but to where Jeff played for the first time, our editor, and I kind of sat with him and just kind of taught him the game while he was playing. Instead of doing a normal how to play where I just look at the camera and explain it, I just kind of sat next to someone playing for the first time and explained all their choices and what they can do throughout the game. So if you want to learn how to play, that's kind of like a how to play that you can check out.
Sure. And what's interesting and a testament to the strength of the game is how much fun it was just playing the prototype. Now the art we did have was really good, and we were really excited. But the strength of the card play, and even the limited deck building with just the prototype, right? Because I didn't want to crack into all the cards ahead of time because I want to play the game in its true form, right? Mm-hmm. But it's so much fun. So. Going from there, so how did you find Lauren? How did we get the art? Like, were you like, I want this to look like this, or did you go make something?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Lauren and I met at Gen Con, and I was just kind of stupidly wandering around Artist Alley with this idea for a game. And I had actually made a prototype with zero art, not even clip art, not even like icons. It was just literally me in PowerPoint. It was so bad. But I didn't have an articulation of how I wanted it to look, and I was just kind of bouncing around and stumbling my way through describing it to artists who all thought I was full of crap and probably not really a serious customer and whatever. And I showed up then at Lauren's booth, who just does this incredible line art Nouveau work, very bright and vibrant. And it was like a light bulb went on, and I was like, oh, like this, what you do is what I want Deck of Wonders to look like. And the conversation went from there, and Lauren has been absolutely perfect for the game ever since.
And is that how you remember the story, Lauren? Or
I remember Dennis looking very excited and just being very excited to be at my table and to see. He's like, this is what I was looking for. And I was like, well, this is really cool. And he told me what the premise was. And he told me the nature of the card game. And I was like, I actually kind of wanted to make something like this anyway, because I've always been intrigued by doing card art and also being able to play with the same art on both sides of the card, like classic playing card games when you can have that reversible aspect to it. And there's so much that you can do with that, because you can make a narrative to it. You can make subtle changes that a player can really look closely and have to notice them. You can really just transform something completely. And so it was a really fun format to work with, especially with the kind of art that I love to do, which is based in narrative, and it's also based in having a lot of movement in general and character design and creature design. And so when he told me about this world, I was like, well, this sounds like a good fit for me too.
That's awesome.
It's got to be really. Sorry, I was just gonna say it's got to be really fun to create the two versions, right? The heaven and hell, if you will, versions of all of your art, right? Because you get an idea in your head, but that's not actually what the final version is going to look like. You take that basic idea and then split it into a tame and a wild side, like you were saying, right? And then you can hide. I'm sure, I don't know how much you want to go into it and stuff, but then you can hide pieces of the lore in those art, and what makes this one wild, why and stuff like that, and in that in-universe lore, right, is something that you as the artist can really have free reign to explore, and that's very interesting.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Star Trek Mirror universe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, Lauren, have a website we can link in the description as well?
Oh, absolutely. My art can be seen at my website, labillustration.com,
Okay.
labillustration.com, and I'm also all over social media and Etsy as well under that same name. So that's where you can find my art.
So we'll have a link to one of those in the description, and they will branch out and link to all the other ones.
Yeah. My link tree in there. It has all of it.
Okay. Yeah.
So now when you are at Gen Con sitting in Artist Alley, now do you go to like, and I've got friends that are artists and they just go and do Comic Cons, Gen Cons, Dragon Con, whatever, just to sell art. They're not even like gamers, like I am, but they're way more talented because they're
Right.
artists. So were you at Gen Con because you were an artist and you're just trying to,
Get out there?
or are you a gamer too?
I am a gamer actually, so
Right on.
it was column A and column B.
Perfect.
Nice.
I had gone to Gen Con in 2018 for the first time just to attend, and I had such a fantastic experience at the convention. And I ended up meeting a ton of artists that were in the Artist Alley as well, and they all told me, they're like, you should absolutely apply to this and see what happens. And it's funny because I was actually going to Gen Con feeling really inadequate as an artist because there were so many amazing, talented people there who've been in the, the board game industry, the fantasy art industry for like 20, 30 years. And then here's little old me, my art is completely different from everybody else's and feeling really self-conscious about it. But then realizing that my unique style was actually getting me a lot of attention from people who haven't really seen stuff like mine before. And that's how I ended up running into Dennis as well, because I presented myself as me.
Sure.
Dennis found me and wanted me for my exact style, which was perfect.
Yeah.
So it really gave me the confidence to I am doing the right thing. This is actually pretty cool.
Well,
so Gen Con was like all in all, through and through, an amazing experience,
That's
and
awesome.
highly recommend attending. Highly recommend going play games, supporting artists, getting all your playtime in, and meeting new friends. So yeah, it was a fantastic time though, and I got to play a lot of new stuff too.
I love it.
Nice.
I love it. And again, now I think because the style and the way that the lore is written in the game, and then now I have in my mind the artwork paired with that, I can't even imagine different art with
For
the
that game. Yeah.
right? Because I feel like there's a mirth to it, right? Even with the cards that are just kicking your butt, it's still kind of fun.
It's a fun butt kicking.
Yeah, but I just love the way it's just the symbiosis is perfect. I mean,
What are those? The beaver dams? Is that what it is?
oh, is it
Yeah, the reinforced.
the
dam.
reinforced dam. Oh man,
oh, those cards are
the
terrible.
memories are flooding back.
That's trauma. Need a therapist. But yeah, and I'm really glad to hear that Gen Con was an awesome experience. As a resident of Indiana, I'm always proud of it's not my hometown convention, but my home state convention. And it's really easy for somebody to have a bad experience, at a big con. So I'm really glad that you had a really positive one. So what kind of games do you like to play?
I love to play, actually the one that I just got from Gen Con was actually Pantone, if you've ever played that game before. It's much more of a visual game, but it's basically a game where you use color swatches to make characters, and you can only make them out of those swatches, which is really interesting, and I got that one at Gen Con. But the classics, Settlers of Catan, I have Small World, what is it, Michikoro?
Machikoro. I love Machikoro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Machikoro, that's it. Yeah. I have so many
There's
other
no
ones
wrong
that I have.
answers.
There's a
I will
bunch.
say,
There's a
I
couple.
will say that Lauren is a much bigger Magic player than I am. My
Oh,
Oh,
Nice.
Wow,
Yeah.
Bob and I play Magic all
Yeah.
the time.
Green, black.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is, go ahead. Go ahead.
12 years now, I think. So I
Oh, wow.
really love Magic.
Nice.
One of my friends got me into it, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And then I lost, and I was like, you're on.
And Dennis, what's your favorite game of all time? Only one answer, go.
XCOM, the board game, because I am religiously in love with anything XCOM.
No one talks about that game, and Tim and I like try to push the XCOM board game on people, like just the idea of it, because
the idea of it is great.
I really love what that I really love what that game tries to do and what it does. I think. But, anyway,
I enjoy it. Yeah, XCOM's
great answer. You pass. We won't hang up.
like it's your show now.
Yeah. Ooh. Power struggle.
There's no struggle.
Oh.
No, that's awesome though, because part of the fun for us, right, is when we reach out. Like we're not like it by any means like a huge channel or anything, but the awesome thing is for us is that when we do reach out and we get to meet creators, right, content creators, whether it's art or game design, and just to meet other gamers, other people, like around, and then when you meet the people and they're so nice and kind and generous with their time, it just makes me so excited.
Yeah,
to
it feels good to know that those kinds of people are in our community.
Yeah, because there's a lot of
jerks
in the punch bowl, right?
Yeah. So don't drink the punch.
I guess one follow-up question, and then we'll jump back to Deck of Wonders, is because you designed a solitaire game, right? Are you a psycho that plays XCOM single player?
I feel like I shouldn't answer
that. I think we know the answer now.
No, I've absolutely I've done it single player. I've done it with I think I've done it every number of players.
Cool. Okay.
And I think the most fun I think is in a multiplayer format, even though it's totally soloable, just because of the conflict that comes up where you are all. You've only got one pool of resources, so much money you can spend, and everyone's got their area of expertise. And I even would have loved to see the game lean into that more, that like everyone, you kind of have your overall win condition. I would have loved to see like individual win conditions. So like, hey, the comms officer controlling the satellites, you are considered like the super winner, even though it's a co-op game, if you keep X number of areas surveyed, or if you lose only X number of satellites. And that would create some really interesting dynamics in terms of fighting over the pool of money.
That is interesting.
It's kind of like an MVP award or something.
Yeah.
It is interesting because you're right that the game is very interesting in the money thing, because it almost causes role playing, because the scientist, whoever is playing like the scientist, is going to want to push science to where the squad leader is going to be like, no, we need that money for military. Like I like that. But anyway, it just seems like XCOM solo would be so complicated for my brain. So I was wondering if you had done that.
And then I
think once you're familiar enough with it and you've played all the roles, you can kind of bring it all together. But man, you got to love some bookkeeping.
And you got to be a psycho.
Right. You got to be a psycho.
So on a Magic the Gathering question, do you ever play Magic the Gathering? What, Arena?
Arena.
The online version?
MTG Arena.
Yeah, I've been playing that like nonstop.
Yeah.
Like, I've totally hooked on that.
Now I got to get back into it.
Old school, like I used to spend a lot of money on just buying cards all the time, and then I had kids, and so like the new online platform is so nice for me because I get to indulge that habit.
It doesn't cost so much money.
Yeah.
Well, the online version you can play for free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In-game currency, you just play. You get money to
Little
buy
crystals.
More stuff. Yeah, it's great.
Wow. Dan loves Magic.
Magic in person though. I do miss that.
Oh,
so much.
yeah.
That is nice. Yeah, that's what I do. Do you prefer like a modern, or do you prefer like the EDH at all, or?
Oh, it's like for me, I haven't. Again, like I also have had to stop spending money on cards, so I've just been doing general drafts whenever the new releases come out, and then also playing Commander with just the EDH basically. Yeah. With my friends. So.
Commander's great. I like Commander.
I love it. I love it. All right, so Deck of Wonders.
Back to the original.
Okay. Oh, that's weird. We just edited out a bunch of stuff.
I'm just going to put a little black box over you. You're not here.
Dan hates Magic, and so when we talk about it, we usually zoom in on his board face.
I mean, it's a very well-made game. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get the hype.
But he plays Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! I would.
Pokemon?
I still have my cards.
Yeah, Pokemon card game.
Pokemon.
2 water.
Okay, but Deck of Wonders. So do you guys have like follow-up ideas, add-ons, new games in the same world? You know,
Right.
like what do you,
plans going forward?
Yeah.
I will say yes. And Deck of Wonders is structured so you're running away from fate, and fate is throwing these villains into your path, and each villain has their own motivations and their own style. But the game is structured so that it can expand just by adding more villains.
Sure.
So you conquer the people that fate threw at you this time. She's just going to throw more at you next time.
Okay.
And I have 2 expansions in mind for the future. Although right now my focus is obviously on getting the base game out the door and in people's hands. But there will be one expansion that will feature a new mechanic that kind of weaves throughout all the cards. And then there will be one expansion that focuses on co-op play. So I've talked about it as a solo game. There is a way to play co-op. You kind of each face off against your own villain. And there are some mechanics on being able to trade cards back and forth. So let's say I really need the AoE clear, and you've got it. Well, at the beginning of the turn, you have a chance to pass it to me.
Sure.
Or I can pass, a big minion over to you if that's what you need. But the resources are coming out of your hand. So you are giving up your own card advantage to help your partner, which hurts you. However, you can only win if both of you defeat your respective villains on the same turn, which should create some really interesting moments. And when I've played it, it's like, all right, man, things are under control on my side. What are you doing? And because the game is so slanted against the player, like it's meant to feel like fate is tipping the scales towards your enemy. Even if you get in control, even if you're like, okay, I've got the win, that is a finite amount of time before fate wrests control back from you. So making sure that both you and your partner can get your wins at the same time is tricky. But anyway, so the second expansion will focus on that co-op aspect, and maybe even instead of fighting 2 individual villains, look at what would it look like if there was a co-op villain where one villain has 2 decks of cards that you are each building. I've said too much already, but
You're fine.
one expansion on kind of a new mechanic, and then one expansion on the co-op mechanic.
Nice.
Sure.
That's cool.
Now, I got a question back for the art side. So when you were coming up with like the card names, right, and what they do, and you pass that on to Lauren, what are your instructions? What are your guideposts? Are you just like, make something out of this?
Right.
Or
This card is called Reinforced Dam. I need a dam that looks kind of reinforced. So
Yeah, the name helps. What I will say is minions are easier than spells.
Okay.
Regardless, I have a couple notes on like what the gameplay effect of the card is, because like if it's a big scary card, the art should look big and scary, and so you got to understand the impact that it has on the game when it comes into play. And then I'll have some notes on flavor and just like the theme or idea behind what the card is. But I try to stay away from like very specific prescriptive things. Instead, I will just send a bunch of images, like literally just Google for images that capture the feel of what's in my mind. Like I said, usually there's minions are easier because it's like a person or an animal or whatever that you can reference. Spells are so much harder because it's often a very abstract idea. It's more ethereal. It's an effect. It's an event, and that's much harder to visualize. So sometimes those images get a lot more abstract. And then Lauren has done amazing work translating that into the final card.
Right. Does
100%.
Do the spells then on Lauren's side, do you find them slightly more, I don't know if fun to draw is the right term, but because the creative exploration of trying to figure out what that spell means is obviously a lot, wider than the net thrown over like a spirit wolf. Right. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
So does that make that more fun to try to come up with your drawings, or do you just like it all the same?
It's interesting because with spells, I get a chance to play more with effects. So it's much more experimentational than the normal kind of card would be. For certain spells, some of them are still more representational, but there's some cards that are a little bit abstract. And with those, I get to kind of like see what colors do and like play with blending in Photoshop and play with different layer modes and like have some weird kind of colors going on. One of the rules cards actually, I think the last card that I did for Deck of Wonders was one of those cards where I really got to play a lot with color and layering and just like making it feel very magical and very like like dimension bending, I guess is what it was. I think Dennis probably knows what that card is.
I do. It's one of the legacy cards. So
yeah.
Secrets.
And the spells, they also have a wild side and a tame side, right? So how is it trying to make like the wild side of fire versus the tame side of fire?
Well, there's always a way that you can control fire, right? And there's always the wildfire as well. So it's just thinking about the duality of nature. It's in everything. And that's one of the really fun things to design these cards around, is just how that duality can really change on you based on how you're using it, or you're using a power, you're in control of it, and then on the wild side it's completely out of control, it's completely taken back its own nature. And that's one of the things that really show up prominently in Deck of Wonders across all the art, I think.
And you nail it, because I will tell you, like, looking at the the reverse sides, as every time we were playing with the cards, right, and it's like, oh well, look at this,
right,
and you flip it around and it's the same card, but it feels totally different. And not just because the effect is different, but I mean the art like just conveys that that other side of it, right? The other side of that coin.
And it's also nice, this might be super obvious, but it's also nice that it helps you not have to think when you draw the card which side it rotates, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah,
It's pretty
that
clear.
helps with that obviously as well.
Now, can we commission an entire deck of
Yep.
just various characters riding corgis?
Right.
Like every card of the deck plays the exact same
Each
way.
one of us
but
riding a corgi.
but I just
Yeah, I almost said absolutely not, and then I was like, actually.
that was one of the first cards that I saw.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know what this is, but this is amazing.
The four horsemen of the
I got
apocalypse,
really,
corgi
really
men.
excited about
The
Pixie
four corgi
Cavalry. when it first
The
came out.
Pixel
A
Cavalry. Yeah.
corgi is just an instant win, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. It really is. No, I just, again though, like it's the playfulness,
Yeah.
in the artwork, and with it combined with like the colors that you use and everything. Just, I mean, it is just such good synergy, along with the writing and like even the flavor text, right?
Right.
As a Magic player, right, I love good flavor text
Right.
on the cards.
Yeah.
Like I'm always looking for that.
That's the other thing I was going to say is I know we've talked about this a little bit, but the game truly does, through some of the flavor text, but then also the backstory of the bosses and stuff as you're unlocking them and everything, like it does build a cohesive story, which is really cool to have a game. What Dennis is trying to do here, and what he did, right, is he has a game that you can play in 15 minutes. He used to joke, his expression when he first said was like after dinner and before he puts the kids to bed, he wants to play a quick card game or something, right? And he wants to fit a 15-minute card game in that kind of thing.
Sneak it in over nap time.
Nap time, right? And you can play this 15-minute card game and have fun with it. But then next time you play it, another 15-minute card game, you're playing just a slightly different 15-minute card game, and different. And then over these months, when you're having a chance to do it, you're playing through a story whenever you see fit, right? And that's just you nailed it. There's going to be a crowd out there.
Apropos of that, as far as design goes, Dennis, what came first, story or the gameplay?
Man, the very first thing that was Deck of Wonders in my mind was the idea of that dual-sided card. The card where if you drew it on the bad guy's turn, it was one thing, and if you drew it on your turn, it was another. And so I guess that was the mechanical hook. And from there, again, I was looking for a game that could be portable and played in short bursts, and so a deck of cards was very natural. And that led to the story of like, what if this is the Deck of Wonders? What if this is like a powerful magical artifact that you've stolen from a goddess, right? And who would that goddess be? Well, it would be Fate, of course. Like that makes total sense. And then like how would the different people that you're fighting interact with Fate? And so I think it was kind of that first mechanical inkling that led over to the story of the world of the game. And then that led into the mechanics of each of the villains. So, you're going to get a villain that's kind of a mid-range deck. You're going to get a villain that's kind of aggro. You're going to get one that's control. And there's all these different styles, but all of those styles kind of stem from who they are and what their place in the story is.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, again, I the prototype, I played a bunch of just basically against the first boss, like trying to unlock the extra cards that you can get just even replaying against the first boss. But then I didn't want to go any further in because I was like, I want the full thing. Like I want the complete with all the art and everything. So I'm just gonna wait, you know, and not spoil the other things because it is I found to be a very rewarding experience playing through. And
I should mention that making the story even better, because so many people have supported the game, we are going to do fully produced audio for all the story segments through Foreteller.
Wow.
And getting to like do the casting and hear some of the early production tests and everything, like it is the coolest thing in the world. I'm playing through Madara right now, if you recognize that game, which has, I think, like 500 pages of story in it. And we're using the Foreteller app. And that's really fun. And that's just like a narrator reading what's in the book. Sure. There's no sound effects. There's no production. What you're going to get with Deck of Wonders is shorter. It's not 500 pages, but it's produced. It is like a full-on radio drama. It's like it's like watching a movie trailer every single time you listen to one of these new story segments. And so when you crack a pack, when you open a legacy pack, you're getting new cards, new mechanics, new challenges that you have to incorporate. And you're also getting this like badass story, like I said, movie trailer-esque radio segment to go along with it. And I just get more excited about that every time we kind of complete a new segment.
Yeah, I wanted to say your email about the voice acting never got to me. But
send it to me.
I'm
sorry.
I'm not mad though. It's just next time we'll make sure that everything is sorted out because
we do need someone to voice the training dummy.
I would love to be
my expertise.
We just so happen to have a whole bunch of sticks over here.
Honestly,
we'll just start whacking.
I thought you were gonna say dummies. We've got a whole bunch of dummies over
a whole
here.
table of dummies right here.
Yeah, how do we get on this?
So
An abundance of both, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So we have a reveal. We have an art reveal to do.
Oh yeah, we do have an art reveal.
Oh yeah,
We have an art
gotta
review.
kinda do
Dude, that's
that.
the
you
whole
said
point of
review.
this.
Kind of
I was
like,
just so excited they're here.
I know.
Yeah.
We want you guys to get to know them as people and stuff too. But I know that a lot of people are just like, "Where's that art reveal?"
Yeah.
They're just going to it.
Yeah,
That's fine too.
it'll be in the tags. You can skip to it.
Yeah.
Well, and can I say, so you guys, this group was one of the few previewers who actually experimented with deck building. The game,
Really?
if you're not a deck builder, if you just want to open it and play, there's recommended card lists for every single villain. So you can just kind of put those together and you're good to go. You guys actually dug in and after playing a couple times thought about like, all right, what needs to be better? Where am I falling short? And started mixing cards.
I did multiple attempts and they were all terrible. But
Well, this is one of the cards that you guys mixed in, so it's got a special connection to you guys. Thank you for your boldness in doing deck building.
yeah,
Well,
I
you were
love this
kind
one.
enough to allow us to just message you like, hey, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. You were very responsive. And
I wanted to try a play style that was kind of like
I want to lose immediately.
well, like because some of it is this kind of push and pull luck of like if I draw these cards, I can put this together in a combo. But if they pull these cards, I need to know what my way out is, right?
Sure.
And one of the things that got me to put as many of these in my deck as I was allowed to legally was I was like, okay, if I can pull these guys, I just want to hit fast and get out and see if I can get this guy's health low enough that I can. It becomes a war of attrition that I'll win. Right, and I do think it worked once. I was kind of joking earlier about always failing, but that's the reason I saw this card and I was like, okay, I think I can build a deck around this idea.
And what card is this, Dan?
This is the Attack Wasp. It's on the screen now, but yeah. So the Attack Wasp, whose ability reads, Tim, I don't know it word for word.
So for a cost of 1, you can discard it, play this card ready. It may attack the turn it's played. So it basically has haste, right, for you Magic players.
Exactly.
Right? And then you can draw a card. And you don't want to be on the receiving end of this thing because.
Jeff actually says in the How to Play that I linked to, he believes he won the game with the deck that has
the
all these
Attack
guys
Wasp.
in it.
There it
I
is.
forgot about that.
Yes.
I forgot that's what won the game for him. But yeah, that is the deck that I had built with the Attack Wasps.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And yeah, it's, again, as you could see, this is just gives you an idea even of what the art is going to look like, the art style, right? So if you like this kind of art style, you really should go and late pledge this. But also go to the Kickstarter. You just go to the Kickstarter, or you could go to Lauren's page. There's a bunch of art that's already, from the game up there, right? I mean, like, because you got like the full, like, without any of the game text on there, right? Just like the
actual art image.
The banner. It almost looks like a banner because
the un-UI'd art, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna have to rotate the card here on the screen because I love the flavor text here. On the good card, on the good one, it says, "Have you heard the latest buzz?" And then when the evil side flips up, it says, "If you have, then it's already too late."
That's great.
So I don't know if you guys want to go in a little bit about this card's design. What? Because yes, when we used this card, it didn't look like that. So what? so what exactly? What made your decisions on this card that we're looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, Dennis, do you want to start with the brief that you gave me? If you remember anything that you wrote.
No, my brain is mush. What did I put in this brief? I do remember something I put in this brief. It was I looked at all these pictures of insects, and specifically, if you guys haven't connected the dots, this is a riff on the murder hornets that were very in popular
2020
at the time. So it's a murder hornet. That's what this is.
Nice.
But I had been looking at all this imagery, and what really struck me was like almost how robotic some of these insects looked. And obviously this is a fantasy world. There's not really machines and certainly not, cyborgs, robots, but you don't need that. Nature provides that. Like if you look at wasps, like real life pictures of wasps, they look like freaking cyborgs.
Yeah, they have that like plate armor.
Yeah.
Yes. and so that kind of robotic element was something I emphasized in the brief. Yes, that was the thing that sticks out to me. I don't know if there was anything else that you had in mind, Lauren.
Well, one of my inspirations for using this card was actually also, if anybody's played Donkey Kong Country 2, like 1 or 2, the zingers, and how huge they were and like how intimidating they were. That was very formative for me as a kid playing that game. So I was very inspired by the feel and mood of the zingers, as well as when I first moved to Austin, I actually got to see a wasp called a tarantula hawk, which if you've never seen this before, it's blue. And so I was just like, it's blue with brown wings. It just looks like it will absolutely mess you up if you it. And so I was like, okay, like I want to have like the blue leggies just to kind of give an homage to the tarantula hawk a little bit, but to also make those legs stand out a lot more for the flavor of this the art style that I have. And also, if you look to, there was a rider for this wasp. There's a little, saddle on the back of the wasp. And it's like, it should give a sense that it's large enough for something to ride it. Like, what is its rider? Like, what is
Another wasp.
It's another wasp.
Yeah. A normal sized wasp.
And so for the tame side, I kind of wanted to give the sense, like, a little bit more benign sense, like, the caution that you feel when you're just sitting and you see a wasp flying by, but it's not paying attention to you. And then the wild side, it's like, it's definitely got you in its sights.
It's looking at me, right?
My favorite aspect.
Now you have to run.
My favorite aspect probably is the standing still wings versus the fluttering wings. That is so so instantly noticeable. Your eyes are drawn to that that evil side is he's coming at you.
The same side is just kind of hovering. He's kind of surveying whatever he needs to do. But then the wild side is like, that's incoming. That's coming for you. That's when the wasp is coming to your face. And I took some inspiration from the zinger in the wild side too, by making that underbelly red to really get that sense of danger, with also the glowing eyes to also play into that robotic element.
Right, the clear cyborg eyes.
Yeah. No, it's not robotic. Like maybe the anger response just changes the wasp's color and just makes you aware that it's just too late. But it's after you, just to let you know.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, this was really, really fun to do, and I actually love drawing creatures and insects and things like that. So, yeah, a joy.
Nice. Sure.
It's crazy to think about. It doesn't matter at all right now, right? But it's crazy to think about how, this art that you draw, and you're like, oh, these red eyes really cool, and like blah blah. But then like when you think about the long term, like if this actually turned into a world in a book series or something like that, someone then has to come up with, okay, why do the genetics allow that the eyes are red? And like all this becomes actual lore now that you just kind of were like, this would be cool.
What Dan's,
right?
what Dan's trying to say is that he's been writing fan fiction.
Right.
Right. And trying to explain this.
My way.
I just love seeing the origin.
But yeah, no, you're
Well,
right.
and-
I mean, as you build onto it, right, you're now the artwork is now integrating itself into the story. So
Right.
like you're saying, there's all these reasons.
It's
now
canon
for all this.
now.
Yeah, it's canon.
And there are absolutely places where, like, yes, just for like headcanon and stuff that happens, but there are a couple of places I can think of specifically where artwork that Lauren did incorporated something that was nowhere on my radar, but was like so striking or such a cool idea that I'm like, oh, okay, that goes in the story now.
Right.
Nice.
And just the nature of some of the settings or like the environments that stuff happens in, or like even the story around how certain magical things work. It all just kind of gets brought to life by Lauren and the way she kind of puts all those hooks into the work.
It's so
Well,
awesome.
And we are fans generally of like really good-looking games, right? I mean, we play dry Euros, and that's fine, But if we've got a game that just like pops and is really nice to look at, it just makes, I don't know, we just like it more. I think.
Yeah, it's very pleasing to look at.
And so yeah, you were very wise to hitch your wagon to Lauren because this art is so good. I love looking at it. Like it's just one of those things. Like even just like every once in a while, just going through the Kickstarter and scrolling through and looking at the different characters that you have, there, or looking at the prototype deck of the finished cards, with the complete art. It's like, man. So we need Lauren to also to do art for other games so that we can have more
That'd be good.
more games with this style of artwork because I really like it. I really do.
Do you
Heartily recommend it.
Lauren, have you ever done tattoos at all? Like, do you ever thought about that?
I mean, I've never done tattoos myself. Like that's a whole thing. But but there have been some people who have wanted tattoos of my work before.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of them ever came to fruition, but that's something that I would love to do, especially as a lover of line art.
Yeah.
I think that it would be really fun to see how that translates onto skin.
Yeah, my fiance is doing a Skyrim sleeve, and she loves all the stuff. Yeah, she's got like this cool like Luna Moth and potion bottle, and the art style is very similar to that. And I was like, yeah, that's why I was wondering if you
need the corgi.
Yeah, the corgi. Ever get a corgi butt on her? She might.
I know she might.
That would be such a big honor, like to have somebody want your art so much to be able to permanently put it on themselves is a huge honor. So yeah, I mean,
Very cool.
if anybody wants to do Deck of Wonders tattoos, that's
Follow the link.
Right.
There was here's a behind the scenes peek as I was designing the Kickstarter and coming up with all the stretch goal reward tiers. I was like, I should put something crazy on there. Like if we hit something just insane, like $100,000 or whatever, I will get a tattoo of Forest Troll. There you go. On the leg or something like that. And it didn't wind up going in because that's pretty out there. But yeah, the art is a great.
But you'd
fit
have to
for
have
that sort of-
you'd have to decide though. Do you want the wild side up or do you want the tame side up? Because you got to get the whole thing. You can't just have one version or the other. You have to have the whole.
Well,
thing.
now I need to get one on each leg.
Exactly.
And
Say, or one on each cheek, right?
That was
my wild side or my tame side?
so one on each side of the leg. Maybe two on the arm, two on the leg.
There you go.
I get that.
Well, so my wife has a wrist tattoo that is really cool. Like it's a tree if you look on kind of the bottom side of the wrist, and then as you turn your arm, you see the roots on the other side. And it just uses the body in such a cool way as a canvas that like you can only see one part of that at a time, and so that the art really mixes in with the canvas, if you will, in a cool way. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
yeah.
Or after Deck of Wonders, was that your inspiration for the double-sided nature of the card?
Maybe subconsciously.
No, wait.
Maybe
Subconsciously.
subconsciously.
Tread carefully because now you're implying that your wife has a double-sided nature, which could get you in trouble.
Oh, is she gonna watch this? I don't know.
But well, guys, do you have any other questions? Is there anything we didn't cover? I don't want to. I would talk to you guys all day, but I don't. your time is precious to you, unlike ours. So, I would respect that.
I will give some specifics. So late pledges are going on now. We actually have a cool thing where there are late pledge stretch goals. So as more people do late pledges, we release more concept art. So like the sketches and everything. So that's still going on. You can get it on this game and make sure it shows up on your doorstep the first day it is available. And if you late pledge, you will get the digital art book for the game, which we've been talking about the art. Like, so you want the digital art book, you'll get that for free. You will get that foreteller audio for free.
Yes.
And you will get the print and play files for free, included with your purchase. So all of those things, I think, basically double the value of what you get in the game. And that is available as a late pledge. So don't sleep on it. Late pledges will probably close some point in mid to late October, just so we can lock it in and make sure the distributors got everything that they need. Sure. Shipping is so crazy. I don't know that's the case, but that's the plan right now is late pledges close in October. So get on it now. Get in on it as a late pledge, and you can get a whole bunch of cool extras for the game for free. And I'm sure I'll make sure you have the link for that on GameFound is where we are late pledging.
I'd be jealous, but I've already backed it. So.
Me too.
Well, I haven't yet.
So, Spencer, what are you waiting for?
Speaking of, it will be a while before it's here, but I'm going to snap there. And when we do get, since Tim and I are getting 2 copies in at least, one of them will probably crack open and start working through the story immediately, and the other one will bring in for unboxings and stuff like that. So they'll be up there.
Nice.
Love it.
But all right, well, thank you guys so much for taking a part of your afternoon out and talking to us. Lauren, it was so nice to meet you and be able to tell you how much we absolutely love your art. I mean, unanimously across the board, everybody that I've shown this stuff to, the first thing they said, even we were talking about Deck of Wonders last year, was like, who's that artist? Like, that art is really good. I mean, gameplay aside, I mean, we love the gameplay anyway.
Well, yeah.
And art.
How many times can I make that stupid joke?
Every
couple
time.
more,
But we really do appreciate you guys coming on and talking to us, and again, just sharing your stories with us. So actually, what we should probably do is in the future, when this is like getting close to like landing on people's doorsteps, maybe we just come back in and have another conversation, talk about some stuff, see where we're at.
Maybe Dennis will know how to take care of a car at that point.
Oh, boy.
Maybe I'll be on the other side of this camera.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then, Lauren, if you're ever going to like Gen Con or something, now we won't be there this year, but in future years, if you're at cons, man, we're going to hit up Artist Alley.
Please do. I'm definitely planning to be at Gen Con and the following years, because I had such a fantastic experience, and I gotta say that the Midwestern game audience has been some of the most friendly, welcoming, and supportive people I have met, with especially in regards to my art. So thank you all for being awesome.
Hey, it's always great to hear when our state is well represented, because
sometimes it's not very much so.
Also true. But all right, guys. Well, this has been Deck of Wonders. That's Dennis Furia and
Lauren Brown.
I was getting there. But again,
I don't trust him for a second.
Lauren.
Now that we've said the names, we can go and move on.
We could have edited that in the post. But thank you guys again. We really appreciate it. Deck of Wonders, find it. We've got all the links in the description, as Dan has said about 55 times. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.